Lead artist, lead programmer, lead designer.
To introduce them and myself quickly, I'm Will Homeward. This is Z. Our lead artist is Alex Kubadera. We have Hitesh Tuli, lead programmer, and Jean Caneas, lead design. So we're just pulling up the Unity file right now. What we've been working on mostly leading up to this point is our custom gravity system. It's something that Hitesh has written himself, and basically it is pretty complicated, and I'll show it to you right now if I can not extend. Great. All right, let's make sure. Yeah, I think we have a light down right here. So I'm just going to go through a little quick playthrough of this. Oh, really? Has anyone used these before? There we go. They're just slow. So we're going to go through a really quick playthrough of the first segment that we're building in 1080 and 720. So as you can see, we're doing a 2D platformer with a twist in that it's got these multiple gravity sources. So we're on this one planet right now, and you all already saw him sort of curving around them. And when he switches planets, it's kind of like that. Right now, our other focus has been on these NPCs. We've got a couple of static ones, like this kid right here, who have like run animations and walk animations, but we also have hostile NPCs that will toss you off their planet if they can, and they'll chase you down. Also, the NPCs are, as we said in our midterm goals, animated with their walk frames and their idle frames in 3 frames, and we're doing that right now with the rest of the art. But essentially, the physics programming has been bottlenecking the level design, which has been bottlenecking the art, as I'm sure you guys know. So we're just now starting the final art production on that, but we have tons of concepts that we'll show you after this playthrough. The final part of this is going to be getting to a daisy puzzle, which is actually extremely hard to get to. So there's 2 parts of this game. You can see Milo here and our other little character, Daisy, who will be interacting with different things in the world like that. Right now she's just moving around and being a yellow capsule. But you'll get a little better idea of what she looks like a little bit later. So right there, that green cube, that lovely art is representing one of Daisy's puzzles, where she will go inside these planets and kind of interact with them, changing the environment on the outside. But this one is where these people have stolen the ship and hidden it in their booby-trapped cache, and you have to like kind of carefully navigate it. And this also really, oh shit, not that carefully apparently. So when you hit these red things, they just explode and your ship gets all like damaged up. But we want to keep it more accessible so that you can still get to the ship and win, but when you come out, Daisy chews out Milo for beating up the ship completely, and like the next part when you go to your hub planet, she's fixing it and she won't talk to you. So we want to have more of our implications be narrative driven rather than success failure, and you just sort of restart that scene. I just want to show you a couple little other things. If we zoom out all the way and maximize the view, you can see that we have this whole level here that we're doing in Sketch right now. Some of it's got gravity and stuff on it, but I just wanted to show you the opening area that we're working on because it's the most complete. But essentially, this is going to be the first chunk of our game, which is going to be a tribal system. And we're going through more for depth than breadth in this, in that each NPC and like environment asset will be more unique and have interactions with Milo, and they'll be able to have different speech bubbles with Milo, and depending on different states, like which animal he's carrying, they'll have different reactions to him. So one more thing also is our cinematic moments, which we've just sort of got in a very brief right now in a mock-up form. But throughout the game, we want to have a lot of moments that explore the character of Milo and Daisy, rather than just have them be platforming elements, like this is the guy who jumps. So lots of little things that he'll run into. So here's the beginning of this level, where we've got the shipped parts as that pink cube. And the first thing that happens as Milo jumps off is this branch breaks out, he can't get back, and the ship is stolen. So that's kind of the impetus for the entire level. Also here you can see pieces of our final level art design. We have final backgrounds right now, and we've just got little chunks of modular stuff that we've been putting in. But we're going to send this level sketch off to our artists, and they will basically use it as a blueprint. We'll label different things like this is a forest, this is something else, and then they design it from that uniquely on a piece-by-piece basis for our planet. So each one of these will have a matching art asset that looks exactly like it, rather than like a sort of tile set. Milo also likes to rave, so he'll just rave out on the corner sometimes. That's totally canon and a feature. The other thing we wanted to show you guys is our concept art. My desktop's been smalled, so I can't really see it, but we have art presentation, the folder. One of the other things that we were having for our midterm goals was to demonstrate our animation pipeline. I can't spell either. And so we want to just take you quickly through how we do it. So we have one person, Cooper Haskell in the back, who's an excellent creature animator, and he basically is vertically integrated into all of our creatures that we do. So we asked him to do a space dragon with some tech elements, and our first pass of it was like this. We needed an adult dragon and a baby dragon, so that was part of it. And then Cooper will take revisions, go to the second pass, but he's pretty good, so by then we're pretty much fine with it. And then after that, we do these roughs of the walk and the run, and the idle. Just so that we can clear the roughs so he doesn't have to spend too much time animating something complicated like this, and we're just going to throw it away. So there's that, the run and the idle. I'll just show you the run, it's pretty cute, but the walk is pretty normal. And the same thing, so you're seeing all these animals now, and the third part of our system between Milo and Daisy is this interaction with the animals, the baby dragon being one of the ones that follows you, and these rodents, which you saw a little bit of their temp art around, but this is sort of the last pass of the concept on those guys that I wanted to show you. They're in level right now acting as NPCs who are just afraid of Milo and will run away from him, but later on he'll be able to sort of befriend them and use them as one of the many tools and assistants to the platforming mechanics that oh, the idle, yeah, it's pretty good. And then this is our first part of the animation on that. And we'll just use different elements of that, played randomly through different parts of it. Finally, we wanted to also show the art pipeline on the NPCs. It's very similar, but Fritzy is actually sort of our vertical integration on that. We went from concepts here straight on to production. We had a couple earlier rounds than this, but we'll just get the general shape of it, and then we have them in PNG, sort of their walk and runs. Yeah. Right, so this is just like the PNG of it, but it's a similar process there. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about specifically? Hitesh, I wanted to just ask you to talk about the gravity and the work you've been doing programming-wise, and how you accomplished our specific gravity system that we have.
So every planet itself is having its own gravity that is not just spherical, but it's supposed to be attracted towards yeah, so Milo is supposed to be attracted towards the nearest polygon he's facing, basically. So first of all, over here, if it's a cylinder, then we have to attract him towards the center of the cylinder, and if it's a cube, we have to attract Milo towards the cube itself, but not the center of it, but towards the towards where the surface of the cube is, cuboid is. So earlier I tried to do a couple of things, as in try Unity's own functions to find the nearest points on the polygons, but that wasn't working, so we had to try a different thing, as in doing a raycast and finding its nearest point. So this is kind of which we are having between the gravity when when Milo is on edges of the polygon, and I guess that's pretty much.
One more thing I wanted to add about the gravity is, aside from doing this mesh-based stuff, we've also based it all around real astronomical calculations. I'm sure a couple of you have heard this from our pitch before, but it uses g equals m1 over m2, and this allows us to do some really neat stuff, like basically simulate these sort of astronomical bodies, but in a very small scale, so they're all people. And you can do all kinds of tricks that spaceships can do, like gravity slingshotting around a planet and stuff like that. And the last part I wanted to talk about is the integration of the two segments of the game you saw. So right now it just goes from this scene to that Daisy puzzle that you sort of solve and get your ship out of. But finally, because Daisy is based around this physical interaction of clicking and dragging and moving blocks around, she'll be actually interfering with the level geometry of Milo at the same time as you're playing. So this game is intended to be single player, but it is also co-op in that one player's on the keyboard, one player's on the mouse if you want to do Milo and Daisy. And we're planning to have it so that's something that a couple of friends or siblings could play very easily together, but also if you're doing it on yourself, you can take enough time to solve the Daisy puzzle, then move Milo and then fix it. But just like Little Big Planet 2, there's some things that you can't do fast enough with one person, so you need a two-player help out with that kind of thing. And then finally, is there any other art that you wanted to show, Alex, about from the concept stuff? We're working right now on this level to be like a sort of Mayan-themed level. You can see that in our NPC concepts and stuff like that. This is right out on the fringe of space for our system, and I can bring up a little bit more concept on that if you want, rather than looking at that ugly Unity editor NPC. So our goals for the midterm are going to be to take this level and basically take it to completion art-wise and mechanically, and have it serve as a vertical slice of something that we can show off. Basically, this level geometry and NPCs time and stuff was added in the last 3 days after the physics was fixed, and so we're ready to move at a pretty brisk pace after this. We've got about a third of that level done in that time, and so we're going to power through the rest of the design on that and start working on systems design for the next level, but basically the goal is to have that as a complete vertical slice for demo day and show it off then. Unless there's any questions, we're Team Homeward, and thank you very much.